Psych Perspectives, giofvcks, back up in here, back with more videos of relationships, love, narcissism, mental health, politics. We coming at you. Quarantine videos coming back to back. So, like I was saying, after a while, it's you. It's you. So, talking about the three people that I wasted time with in previous years, this has to be talked about because I wasted so much time. So one of them I met back in 2015, and we were and this is another thing. I know people have said this before, but this is why I personally don't believe in mixing business with pleasure. AKA, if you can prevent it, don't date or talk to people that you work with, and don't realize when you're at work, this is a professional setting, and when you're out of work, off clock, that's when you can do you. But this is why you really don't want to mix business with pleasure, because things tend to go horribly wrong very quick, and you just be like, okay. So 2015, I met this person. We worked for the same place. Very attractive guy, and he had been working there, I want to say 7 years before I just joined. Because I think that was back in 2008 when he started. And then I came in 2015. So he had already been there for, or 7 years before I came. So there's that. And like I said, I just noticed off rip, he was physically attractive, and I was like, okay, this dude is he's pretty cute. And then I just noticed, like, his demeanor and his attitude, and then he was very witty, smart-mouthed, and funny. So I was like, okay. But keep in mind, I'm noticing, and this is what I mean by when emotions come in to me, logic leaves the chat, right? Because now, notice how I'm able to pinpoint all of the good things that I thought were good, right? Things that was attractive to me, but I completely negated all of the obvious red flags, because they were always there. And a lot of us, once again, accountability. If you look back, the red flags were there. You chose to ignore them. I'm just being honest. Because oftentimes, those red flags were large, smack dab in your face, but because they were cute, they were funny, they were nice here and there, whatever, you thought, we can let that slide. And I'll be the first to, and I've seen this quote so many times. The things that you ignored at the beginning will be the very reasons why you leave in the end. And this is very true. Okay? Because, again, those red flags are there. You are literally in denial a lot of times. And, again, this is a lot of this is ego driven, because a lot of us, we have such a hard time with admitting when we're wrong, admitting when we made mistakes, taking ownership of our actions. We have such an issue with that. Even when we talk about narcissism and toxic relationships, a lot of times it's a bunch of they did this and they did that, but what did you do? Because somewhere down the line, your actions also clearly weren't where they should have been in the first place. Because let's be honest. Now, yes, people can be manipulated, and people can agitate you and have you walking on eggshells, but you also play a role still. It is what it is. So, like I said, very attractive, witty, smart mouth, funny. He could cook really well, and I pay attention to stuff like that because I like to have home cooked meals, and he could cook really well. I'm one of those people where I would much rather have someone cook dinner than go out to eat. Now, after quarantine, I am going to go out to eat because, bitch, I miss being outside. But I still prefer home cooked meals. So he could cook, and he liked to dance. You know, he was very into like the club scene. Now, me personally, I'm not really a club scene person. It's not really my forte. It's not my thing. Because me personally, I'm just socially awkward at times because of obvious issues that I have, which I'll talk more about in video format soon. So I was like, oh, well, you know, he likes to dance. He's very sociable. He cooks. He's attractive. You know, his swag and demeanor, all of that. Like, I'm paying attention to all of that. So, but what I wasn't paying attention to, or I was just straight up ignoring, were the red flags. And the red flags, just to name a few, you know, you got to think, there's a 5-year age difference between me and this person. He's 5 years older than me. So you got to think, at the time when I met him, I was 22, about to turn 23. He was 27, about to turn 28. So you got to ask yourself, you're almost 30. Shouldn't you have achieved certain amount of shit? I'm just saying. And granted, who am I to judge, right? But one thing I can say, if you find yourself constantly in these Bob the Builder workshop projects, you got to start paying attention to you and what you're doing. Because you just keep running into people that you feel that you got to invest in. Shouldn't they already be where they're at? Especially when they're 5 years older than you. I mean, this is what I mean by in hindsight. These are the questions you need to be asking yourself. So I just noticed like, okay, well, he should be a little further than where he's at. Not a little, a lot further than where he's at. And those were moments like I just, again, and I can honestly say I was being very ignorant and superficial because I'm sitting up here more concerned about, well, at least he looks good. Looks are not going to carry a relationship. Newsflash.